and I genuinely mean that. Even a couple seconds is bad for me. I got this random message on the Restream site where I stream through that said, there was some sort of an issue with Google Chrome, so I should use Safari or Firefox. So I go to Safari, and it says, "Oh, this isn't the best site to use. We recommend Google Chrome." And so I'm like, "All right, cool. Back to Chrome, and we'll just see what happens. I'm sure people will let me know one way or the other what's going on there." But I'm just gonna plug up really quick, and we can go from there. I appreciate those of you who are tuning in. Yeah. So today, what's going to happen is we are celebrating a couple of things related to Steely Dan, and I'll explain some of those things in a little bit. But initially, I was thinking, okay, I Can't Buy a Thrill, their debut was released in November of 1972. It didn't really say what day it was, but I just knew that it was sometime in November. And I'll explain why I chose this date in a little bit. But then a little later on, as I was working through this, I saw that Gaucho, their 1980 album, the last one before their 13-year hiatus and 20-year studio album hiatus, 20-year recording hiatus was started. And so that was one of those things. And so I noticed that that was released coincidentally 40 years ago today. So we're celebrating that. Not quite as much because I'm not as familiar with that particular album. But I kind of use that as an excuse to just kind of explore all of Steely Dan's catalog. So this first song is one that's called Something That Just Isn't There. And this is, all of these are based on true stories, but this particular song was basically inspired by, feeling like, okay, well, things are going well, and then somebody calls it off. That's somebody that's not me, spoiler alert. And, she can't really explain it, but she's like, yeah, there's just something that isn't there that's missing. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know what more you could possibly want, So that's one of those things. But like I said, that's what inspired this song. And this song was inspired by Do It Again by Steely Dan. And so I'm going to play that as well. In October, you were spineless, told me love was dead and gone. What you felt for me in Memphis never was love all along. Said love was just a one's choosing, and you were not choosing me. Think about what you are losing and the price of being free. You say there's something that just isn't there. You can see it clear as air. You say there's something that just isn't there. Wish it hurt much more to see me when I can't get over you. But right now I'm barely breathing, and it's chic to feel blue. Your damn father was so horrid, and your stepfather as well. Just because you're friends with the devil don't mean I should get dragged to hell. You say there's something that just isn't there. You can see it clear as air. You say there's something that just isn't there. So what more could I have given than the love I did provide? I could not have kept loving in no matter how hard I tried. You will never be content when things are going smooth as sail. Now the only thing with sense is to make you live with the guilt. You say there's something that just isn't there. You can see it clear as air. You say there's something that just isn't there. In the morning you go gunning for the man who stole your water. Then you find millions done it, but they catch you at the border. And the mourners are all singing as they drag you by your feet. But the hangman isn't hanging, so they put you on the street. Yeah, you go back, Jack, do it again. We'll turn it round and round. You go back, Jack, do it again. When you swear she's no high climber, then you find your only friend in a room with your two-timer, and you swear you're near the end. Let's try that again. When you know she's no high climber, then you find your only friend in a room with your two-timer, and you swear you're near the end. Then you love a little wild one, and she brings you only sorrow. All the time you know she's smiling, you'll be on your knees tomorrow. Yeah, you go back, Jack, do it again. We'll turn it round and round. You go back, Jack, do it again. you swear you kick in Vegas that you're not a gambling man. Then you find yourself in Vegas with a handle in your hand. Your black cards will win you money, so you hide them when you're able. In the land of milk and honey, you must put them on the table. Yeah, you go back, Jack, do it again. We'll turn it round and round. You go back, Jack, do it again. All right, and that was Do It Again by Steely Dan, and we started off with me doing my own song called Something That Isn't There. I hope you enjoyed both of those. So today, we are paying tribute to Steely Dan on this week's live stream. This is the You Wouldn't Even Know a Diamond live stream, and I'll explain where that comes from in a little bit. But thank you guys for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. This is a little bit of a longer set because I was going through it, and I was like, man, in addition to the songs that inspired the album, which I always am playing, along with the what inspired them, right? So I play the original and then my original, I should say. And, so I was like, okay, well, that's great. But there are some songs that I like that just didn't necessarily, make it on there in terms of what inspired my songs. So I figured, okay, I'll just keep on going with this. And next thing I knew, I had about 31 songs. So that was just one of those things. Including my own. I had 31 songs. So, like I said, we're going to be going for a good long time here. So the interesting thing, what originally inspired this this album was, it was in late August or early September, and I remembered that the anniversary of Walter Becker's passing was it was coming up. And so I thought, oh man, I have been influenced by Steely Dan. They're one of my first musical memories. And so it was one of those things that I'm like, it's about time that even though my, instrumentals aren't anywhere near where theirs are, our songwriting is relatively similar. So why don't I just be a little bit more intentional about it, really listen to the essence of their lyrics and try to emulate that a little bit. And so that was that. And it's interesting because when I think about Steely Dan, I think about their, just, I don't even know how to put it, but just in the studio, they were perfectionists. And, to the point where they stopped touring. And I'll get to that in a little bit as well. But they stopped touring around 1974 just so they could focus on the studio. So they were really a studio outfit. And so much so that Donald Fagen didn't feel comfortable with his voice live. And so they hired another guy to sing lead. His name was David Palmer, and he actually sang lead on this one and another one that I'm going to do in a little bit on their first album. And I'm a firm believer in the first album or the first set of songs that you hear. from a band is going to be your favorite album for the rest of time. But uh, Can't Buy Thrill, it still is my favorite album of theirs, but it's weird because when I think of Steely Dan, it's not what they eventually became, which is, consistent with debut albums, right? They're not supposed to be your best work. It's just supposed to kind of be a hint of what you can do. And it was still a spectacular record, but in a lot of ways, just sonically, it doesn't really sound like Steely Dan eventually would in terms of developing their sound. Um, but nonetheless, this was an influential song for me. And this is a song of theirs called Dirty Work. And so I'm going to do it with a song of mine called Guy Friends that was inspired by Dirty Work by Steely Dan. So I'm going to do that medley. And this is Guy Friends. This is basically about somebody rejecting you and then introducing you to all of their boyfriends and thinking that, like, oh yeah, you'll be cool with it, you'll be able to make peace with it, and the reality is no, that's just an incredible flex and really rude, depending on how you do it. So this is Guy Friends and Dirty Work. I know my role, one that has been longest out. I'm the guy you tell your boyfriends they don't have to stress about. When he's stupid, you're speed dialing, and I'm always your first call. Then you act like nothing happened until the next time you fall. Don't introduce me to your guy friends till you're mine. But if they want to meet me, that would be just fine. You had a boyfriend, yeah, you let me take your hand. Kiss you one day in my kitchen, but you didn't understand how it was so complicated to describe the way you feel. The word for which you are searching to describe this thing is real. Don't introduce me to your guy friends till you're mine. But if they want to meet me, that would be just fine. Don't introduce me to your guy friends till you're mine. But if they want to meet me, that would mean just fine. Don't introduce me to your guy friends till you're mine. But if they want to meet me, that would mean just fine. Times are hard, you're afraid to make the fee, so you find yourself somebody who can do the job for free. When you need a little loving 'cause your man is out of town, that's the time you get me running, and you I'll be around. I'm a fool to do your dirty work, oh yeah. I don't wanna do your dirty work no more. I'm a fool to do your dirty work, oh yeah. Light a candle, put a lime on the door. You have sinned the maid of mercy like 1,000 times before. Like a castle in the corner of a medieval game, I foresee terrible trouble, but I'll run in just the same. I'm a fool to do your dirty work, oh yeah. I don't wanna do your dirty work no more. I'm a fool to do your dirty work, oh yeah. I don't wanna do your dirty work no more. I'm a fool to do your dirty work, oh yeah. I don't wanna do your dirty work no more. I'm a fool to do your dirty work, oh yeah. All right, and that was Guy Friends and Dirty Work. I want to give a quick shout out to my friend Walt, who gave me the chords for that song. He played it one time at an open mic night, and I had known the song for a super long time, and but never really learned how to play it. And so I said, "Oh, can you give me the chords for that?" And so he did. I think he just gave me the sheet that he had, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll print out another one at some point." But really, really nice of him. It is so rare to find another Steely Dan fan too, by the way, because they're definitely an acquired taste in a lot of senses. So this next song is one that is called "On File," and it was inspired by Midnight Cruiser by Steely Dan, and I'll tell my Midnight Cruiser stories in a little bit. But this particular song, the first line in it, came about because I, was making a grocery list in my head, and by that I mean I was in the grocery store, and I'm like, okay, well, I only needed a couple of things, so I didn't bother making a list. And so I was like, okay, what do I need? And the two things that I needed were applesauce and rubbing alcohol. And I was like, those two things are very, very, very different. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to put that in a song, and we'll just see where it goes. And so that's where that line came from, and the rest of it just kind of flowed. So this is On File and Midnight Cruiser, and I hope you enjoy both of them. Recovering from my fall, I need applesauce and rubbing alcohol. The peak of our love, it faded through. but I can do better than you. Yeah, it's a 5.5 hours till I get to Noonan, but I just cannot take one more mile. Ever since you said you love a new man, my distrust of you has been on fire. Our friends from our trip to Spain have all faded back into the gray. Thought forever was not far from us, but I guess it was only lust. It is 5.5 hours till I get to Noonan, but I just cannot take one more mile. Ever since you said you love a new man, my distrust of you has been on fire. It is 5.5 hours till I get to Noonan, but I just cannot take one more mile. Ever since you said you love a new man, my distrust of you has been on fire. It is 5.5 hours till I get to Noonan, but I just cannot take one more mile. Ever since you said you love a new man, my distrust of you has been on fire. The loneliest, my old friend, step on in and let me shake your hand. So glad that you're here again. For one more time, let your madness run with mine. Streets still unseen, we'll find some time. No time is better than now. Tell me where you're driving, midnight cruiser. Where is your bounty, your fortune and fame? I am another gentleman loser. Drive me to Harlem or somewhere the same. The world that we used to know, people tell me it don't turn no more. The places we used to go, familiar mazes that ain't smiling like before. The time of our time is come and gone. I fear we've been waiting too long. Tell me where you're driving, midnight cruiser. Where is your money, your fortune and fame? I am another gentleman loser. Drive me to Harlem or somewhere the same. is your bounty of fortune and fame? I am another gentleman loser. Drive me to Harlem or somewhere the same. Tell me where are you driving, midnight cruiser? Where is your bounty of fortune and fame? I am another gentleman loser. Drive me to Harlem or somewhere the same. All right, and that was Midnight Cruiser and On File, the original song of mine called On File. So I promised a good Midnight Cruiser story. I've got a couple of them, actually. But my main one, so, I grew up listening to Steely Dan. My dad would play it in the car all the time on my way to school when he would drop us off and all of that. And there are more stories that I'll tell about that in a little bit, but it was one of those things that I was thinking about it as I was walking today, and when you play music, a certain type of music for a kid growing up, then it's going to seep into their subconscious somehow, even if they don't fully get it. It really is. And so when I was either 4 or 6, I just there was this song that I heard, and I remember it was like a game of Blues Clues, but I remember hearing it and telling my parents, yeah, I remember this song. This was kind of how it went. And we think it was Midnight Cruiser, but it also might have been The Way by Fastball, which would have made me 6 then. So that would have been the math on that one. But anyway, so we I still think we maybe didn't figure out what the song was. But I'm fairly certain it was Midnight Cruiser. So it was one of those things of trying to identify the song. The person who sings the lead vocals on that is or was, I should say, Jimmy Hodder, who is their drummer. He tragically drowned in a swimming pool in 1990. But as I said, Donald Fagen was not necessarily super comfortable with singing vocals at that point, and so he split them with Jimmy Hodder and David Palmer. I'll play another David Palmer song in a second here, but Midnight Cruiser was one of those things. And the interesting thing about that song is it opens up with him saying Thelonious, my old friend, and that's a reference to Thelonious Monk, who was greatly influential to Steely Dan. And it's funny because there's nothing else in that song that references Thelonious Monk, so it's just this really random line that's put out there in the song, and then nothing else really has anything to do with that. So that's kind of an interesting take right there. But yeah, so that was that and Midnight Cruiser. Really, really good song. Once again, off of Can't Buy a Thrill. So this next song, one of the first that I ever remember learning, and this is a song called well, I'm gonna play Reelin' in the Years in a little bit, but my song that was inspired by Reelin' in the Years was actually the first that I wrote for the record, and this is a song called How Do the Men Treat You Now? And kind of consistent with this theme, of is your life that much better? This is Reelin' in the Years is one song that I always point to with Steely Dan that when I look at, the handful of songs that really shaped who I am as a songwriter and as a person to an extent, in terms of my general level of cynicism, this is one of those songs that that I point out. And it's funny because one of the other, artists obviously is Bob Dylan, that was very influential to me, and some of the other songs of that nature that just really influenced my breakup songs that I've gotten relatively good at writing, unfortunately, over the past handful of years. And that kind of cynicism. Reeling in the Years is one of them, and Idiot Wind and Positively Fourth Street are another two by Bob Dylan. So as I, learned a little bit more about Steely Dan, I come to find out that Can't Buy a Thrill, which is the record that Reeling in the Years and these past handful of songs, these first 6 songs on the record that I'm playing, you can see that and figure that out. But Can't Buy a Thrill was actually, the name was taken from a line in a Bob Dylan song. It takes a lot to laugh, it takes a train to cry. And that's one thing that I have picked up from Steely Dan, is naming my albums after lines in songs. And so both of those things, Dylan and Steely Dan, have both been very, very influential on my songwriting. And so when I was writing for this record, naturally, this was the first one that I wrote for it, and this is How Did the Men Treat You Now? And it was inspired by Reelin' in the Years, which I am going to play as well. Had a fantasy forever and it scared you half to death, so you made it your mission to destroy that second half. But the fantasy component was a million in your head. Why'd you listen to one word your cheating father said? How do the men treat you now? Do you miss me at all? Don't you dare come crawling back after rescinding your vows. It was evident you weren't the brightest knife upon the tree. I figured that out every time you would speak with me. But you made it out of Noonan and made it all the way to Rome. But not the one in Europe, the one 2 hours from your home. How do the men treat you now? And do you miss me at all? Don't you dare come crawling back after rescinding your vows. I played things out in my head more than I care to disclose. I heard you now live in Atlanta with your ducks in a row. It's still hard to figure out or justify your point of view. Maybe like your father you were cheating too. How do the men treat you now? And do you miss me at all? Don't you dare come crawling back after rescinding your vows. How do the men treat you now? And do you miss me at all? Don't you dare come crawling back after rescinding your vows. How do the men treat you now? And do you miss me at all? Don't you dare come crawling back when you rescinded your vows. Your everlasting summer, you can see it fading fast. So you grab a piece of something that you think is gonna last. You wouldn't even know a diamond if you held it in your hand. The things you think are precious, I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? You've been telling me you're a genius since you were 17. And all this time I've known you, I still don't know what you mean. Well, the weekend at the college didn't turn out like you planned. The things that pass for knowledge I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Yeah, I spent a lot of money and I spent a lot of time. The trip we made to Hollywood is etched upon my mind. After all the things we've done and seen, you find another man. The things you think are useless, I can't understand. Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? Are you reeling in the years, stowing away the time? Are you gathering up the tears? Have you had enough of mine? All right, and that was Reelin' in the Years, also paired with How Did the Men Treat You Now, my original song, which was inspired by Reelin' in the Years, a fabulous, fabulous Steely Dan song. Yeah, so that was that. Yeah, so we got one more song here that was inspired by a song off of Can't Buy a Thrill. And that is a song, the Steely Dan song, I should say, is called Turn That Heartbeat Over Again. And actually, we have two more. I take that back. Because I promised another one that was inspired by, or that was sung, I should say, by David Palmer. And we are going to do that right now. So this one, actually, the reason why this wound up on this particular set was it was inspired by a song of mine called "Love Is Some Kind of Game," and actually not that one. I clicked the wrong one. So this one was inspired by a song called "Off My Mind," and Brooklyn Owes the Charmer Under Me is the song that inspired it. So I'm going to do both of those things, and we're going to go from there. So this is Off My Mind, and I hope you enjoy it. Your love for ages, it stalled without good reason. So mine back pages were filled up to the spine. I'd given up on getting more, thought you'd never be mine. But you're someone I can't get off my mind. You're someone I can't get off my mind. I can think of a whole lot of things better than losing your love and trying to rethink life. We were meant to be together after all this time, but you're someone I can't get off my mind. You're someone I can't get off my Your love so certain, no summer sans convention. As things worsen, somehow my love stays blind. When cornered about what we are, your feelings are undefined. But you're someone I can't get off my mind. You're someone I can't get off my mind. A race of angels bound with one another. A dish of dollars laid out for all to see. A tower room at Eden Rockets, golf at noon for free. Brooklyn knows the charmer under me. His lady's aching to bring a body down. She daily preaches on where she wants to be. An evening with a movie queen, a face we all have seen. Brooklyn knows the charmer under me. Brooklyn knows the charmer under me. A case of aces done loose for dealing. A piece of island cooling in the sea. The whole of time we gain or lose, and power enough to choose. Brooklyn knows the charmer under me. Brooklyn knows the charmer under me. All right, and that was Brooklyn Owes the Charmer Under Me, paired with Off My Mind, that particular song by myself, and Brooklyn was by Steely Dan. I want to give a shout out to my mom who's tuning in. She's a faithful listener. Can't always see who is tuning in, or even the number sometimes of people who are tuning in. So I appreciate you guys letting me know, and all of that good stuff. So, funny thing about the song Brooklyn, somebody who actually goes to my church, her name is Brooklyn, and so I, immediately thought of that when she introduced herself for the first time. So that was a tough one, but good person for sure. She might appreciate that even if she doesn't get it. But curious enough to maybe do that research. So this is the one that I was teasing a second ago, with "Turn That Heartbeat Over Again," and if you guys notice the title card and the picture, that's this is actually where it came from. There's a great line in the chorus, that you will see that is just one of my absolute favorites. But this song, and any Steely Dan song, is very, very quotable, in certain contexts, at least. So this is a song of mine, called "Love Is Some Kind of Game." And I'm going to do it as a medley with "Turn That Heartbeat Over Again" by Steely Dan, and I hope you enjoy both of them. The love we had could not be matched, though you may call it something else. Your cheating dad made the odds stand, but the way I treated you, hell. Sent you flowers, got for hours, gave you sweetness from life's sours. It made sense to try to walk through when I didn't know I changed your mind. It's toxic, it's explained, to demand a reason for change. I'm human, so sue me if I sound deranged. You don't like it when it feels right, but I don't like it just the same. When people think love is some kind of game. Changing the guard you were always taught makes it harder for a thrill to be bought. So when I came, it blew your mind, and when yours changed, so much was lost. Sent you flowers, got for hours, gave you sweetness from life's hours. It made sense to try to walk through when I didn't know I changed your mind. It's toxic, it's explained, to demand a reason for change. I'm human, so sue me if I sound deranged. You don't like it when it feels right, but I don't like it just the same. When people think love is some kind of game. Won't be the last to cut me off, absent of reason or rhyme. Can't take a chance, I might repeat, I'm single and gun-shy. Sent you flowers, got for hours, gave you sweetness from life's sours. It made sense to try to walk through, and I didn't know what changed your mind. It's toxic, it's explained, to demand a reason for change. Yeah, I'm human, so sue me if I sound deranged. You don't like it when it feels right, but I don't like it just the same. When people think love is some kind of game. With stocking face, I bought a gun. The plan was set, the plan was done. Looked at my watch, started for the door. Now the food here ain't so good no more, and they closed the package store. Love your mama, love your brother, love them till they run for cover. Leave the light off, keep your shirt on, cry a drag on me. Oh Michael, oh Jesus, you know I'm not to blame. You know my reputation for playing a good, clean game. Oh Michael, oh Jesus, I'll keep my promise when you turn that heartbeat over again. My poison's name, you know my brand, so please make it a double slam. Stir it up nice and I'll eat it right here. This highway runs from Paraguay, and I've just come all the way. Love your mama, love your brother, love them till they run for cover. Leave the light off, keep your shirt on, cry a jag on me. Oh Michael, oh Jesus, you know I'm not to blame. You know my reputation for playing a good, clean game. Oh Michael, oh Jesus, I'll keep my promise when you turn that heartbeat over again. We warned the corpse of William Wright not to cuss and drink all night. Ticket in hand, we saw him laid to rest, but zombie see, zombie do. He's here with me and you. Love your mama, love your brother, love them till they run for cover. Leave the light off, keep your shirt on, cry a jag on me. Oh Michael, oh Jesus, you know I'm not to blame. You know my reputation for playing a good, clean game. Oh Michael, oh Jesus, I'll keep my promise when you turn that heartbeat over again. All right, and that was Turn That Heartbeat Over Again, paired with Love Is Some Kind of Game. I edited that and edited the title a couple of times there, so that threw me off a little bit. But that concludes all the songs on this record that were inspired by songs off of Can't Buy a Thrill. There are actually 10 songs on this record, and 6 out of those 10 were inspired by songs off of Can't Buy a Thrill. So, like I said, might not be their best album, but it was certainly probably the most influential on me. But speaking of influential songs, I mentioned earlier some of my earliest musical memories had to do with Steely Dan. And one of them, on my first day of kindergarten, my dad was driving me to school, and he played "My Old School," the Steely Dan song, because the hook is "I'm never going back to my old school," which has been an unfortunate anthem for me. But then it was a nice tribute, and something that I always remember. Um, and this is one of those things that, like, as you get older, you start to kind of dissect Steely Dan, and be like, okay, what the heck does that mean? I didn't necessarily do that in when I was 5. But the thing that I remember from it is the background vocals, these really strong background vocals, and how it just sounded like it was like a really good time that they were having. And so, what I would come to find later, and I forgot to mention this with Dirty Work, when I saw Steely Dan live with my dad in 2009. They're touring backup singers, all from New York as well. Just, I mean, phenomenal. And they sang at least the chorus, if not the whole thing of the song "Dirty Work," and it was just absolutely phenomenal. But just the way that those harmonies blended were super super cool. So anyway, I'm gonna play this in isolation. This didn't inspire any particular song on the album, but it has been a very influential song on me, and so I can't do a Steely Dan tribute without playing this song. So this is "My Old School," and this is off of "Countdown to Ecstasy," by the way, their second album. Yeah, I remember the 35 sweet goodbyes when you put me on the Wolverine of New Endell. It was still September when your daddy was quite surprised to find you with the working girls in the county jail. Yeah, I was smoking with the boys upstairs when I heard about the whole affair. I said, whoa, no, William and Mary won't do now. Well, I did not think the girl knew me so cruel, and I'm never going back to my own school. Oleanders growing outside the door. Soon they're gonna be in bloom up in Annandale. Hey, I can't stand you doing what you did before, leaving like a gypsy queen in a fairy tale. Well, I hear the whistle, but I can't go. I'm gonna take her down to Mexico. She said, whoa, no, Guadalajara won't do now. Well, I did not think the girl knew me so cruel, and I'm never going back to my own school. into the sea. That'll be the day I go back to Annandale. Trying to warn you about Gino and Daddy G, but I can't seem to get to you through the U.S. mail. Well, I hear the whistle, but I can't go. I'm gonna take her down to Mexico. She said, whoa, no, Guadalajara won't do now. Well, I did not think of me so cruel, and I'm never going back to my old school. All right, and that was My Old School by Steely Dan off of their album, their second album called Countdown to Ecstasy. Couple of notable omissions from that album that I am not playing tonight. There are a couple of my other favorites. There is a song of theirs called Showbiz Kids that's really good, and again, very reliant on those background vocals. And then there's another song that I got in my head a couple of weeks ago, or not a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago, but time is meaningless, so day, week, whatever. That was Razor Boy. But the line that I got in my head was I guess only women in cages would say that, or something to that effect. And that's a line from Razor Boy. But another really, really good album, definitely built on the sound of Can't Buy a Thrill. And I'm going to play a couple of songs off of that coming up here. And this first one that I'm going to play is a song called Broken, and this was inspired by Pearl of the Quarter. This was another one that was kind of interesting because it was one that I remember hearing very early on, and I think I looked it up, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. I know it's French. But when they say boule, 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 boo, that I was like, okay, that's funny. Similar to listening to him as a kid, right? It was just like, oh, well, that's an interesting lyric. I don't know what that means, right? Obviously, I didn't say it in those words, but I was like, interesting. And so Pearl of the Quarter, really fabulous song, and this inspired this particular album. And this is kind of looking at, like, imagining dating as applying for a job, and somebody takes a look at your resume and is like, no, thank you, but you kind of need somebody to take a chance on you. And so so that is that. And so this is Broken and Pearl of the Quarter, and I hope you enjoy both of them. You take a look at my resume. It looks as if there isn't much to say. Lots of potential, but the jobs went away. Hope someone takes a chance on what's broken. The girls who'd write me letters of recommendation are few and far between across the nation. They all thought they could just perform sublimation. Now I need someone to fix what's broken. There's a 2-year gap, let me explain that. I couldn't seem to let nobody in. 2 more years on, I found someone, but never could start the conversation. There's only turn for a better tomorrow. If you will take a chance on this tin man, learn from all the things that once caused me sorrow. Will you take a chance on what is broken? There's a 2-year gap, let me explain that. I couldn't seem to let nobody in. 2 more years on, I found someone, but I could never start a conversation. There's a 2-year gap, let me explain that. I couldn't let nobody in. 2 more years on, I found someone, but never could start the conversation. Out on the water down in New Orleans, my baby is the pearl of the quarter. She's a charmer like you never seen, singing boule, 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 boo. Where the sailor spent his hard-earned pay, red beans and rice for a quarter. You can give me almost every day, singing boule, 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 boo. And if you hear from my Louise, won't you tell her I love her so? Please make it clear when her day is done, she's got a place to go. I walked alone down the Miracle Mile. I met my baby by the shrine of the martyr. She stole my heart with an ancient smile, singing boule, 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 boo. She loved the $1,000,000 words I say. She loved the candy and the flowers that I bought her. She loved me and was on her way, singing boule, 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 boo. And if you hear from my Louise, won't you tell her I love her so? Please make it clear when her day is done, she's got a place to go. And if you hear from my Louise, won't you tell her I love her so? Please make it clear when the day is done, she's got a place to go. All right, and that was a song called Broken and Pearl of the Quarter, the song that inspired my song called Broken. All right, so that is all I'm going to showcase off of. Actually, I take that back. I do have one more song to showcase off of Countdown to Ecstasy, and this is King of the World, and I hope you enjoy it. Hello, one and all. Was it you I used to know? Can you hear me call on this old man radio? All I got to say, I'm alive and feeling fine. Living up my way. You can share my poison wine. No marigolds in the promised land. There's a hole in the ground where they used to grow. Any man left on the Rio Grande is the king of the world, as far as I know. I don't want your bread. I don't need your helping hand. I can't be no savage. I can't be no highwayman. Show me where you are. You and I will spend the day driving in my car through the ruins of Santa Fe. No marigolds in the promised land. There's a hole in the ground where they used to grow. Any man left on the Rio Grande is the king of the world, as far as I know. If you come around, no more pain and no regrets. Watch the sun go brown, smoking cobalt cigarettes. There's no need to hide, taking things the easy way. If I stay inside, I might live till Saturday. No marigolds in the promised land. There's a hole in the ground where we used to grow. Any man left in the Rio Grande is the king of the world, as far as I know. All right, and that was a song of mine called Left Me for Dead. Or I take that back, not Left Me for Dead. I already have not done that one yet, but that was King of the World. I just played that in isolation. It's nice when I can keep track of the songs that I play. Yeah, that was King of the World by Steely Dan off of their album Countdown to Ecstasy. So now for the song that I was very, very excited to play. That particular album, I'm actually going to do one right before that. But one of these days I'll get it done. So get it down. But anyway, I'm going to play a song that also has a lot to do with my childhood because my dad and brother and I used to argue about this all the time. I thought that the lyrics to this song was Mickey, don't lose that number instead of Ricky, don't lose that number. And then even when it was clear that it was Ricky, I was still convinced that it was Mickey. But now I know that it's Ricky, don't lose that number. And I'm cool with that as long as I can still tell that story about my stubbornness. We move on and we learn. Anyway, this song is called Ricky, Don't Lose That Number, and was inspired by an actual person named Ricky. I can't remember her last name, but Donald Fagen met her at a party, and she was, I think, pregnant and with somebody, and he gave her his number anyway, and it was just like, yeah, call me if you're ready for a real man, essentially. And so that's kind of what this song is about. But this is Ricky, Don't Lose That Number, and the piano part, which I don't have a piano, but the piano intro that you hear in the studio version essentially sampled a song from my father by Horace Silver. That dun, 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 dun. So that's from that jazz song there. But that is also my tuning song when I'm tuning. If I can play Ricky, Don't Lose That Number, then I know I'm at least not too far off. So that's going to be this particular song, Ricky, Don't Lose That Number, and this begins Pretzel Logic, that particular album. And so I'm going to play the title track in a second here off of Pretzel Logic, but this is Ricky, Don't Lose That Number first. We hear you're leaving, that's okay. Yeah, I thought a little wild time had just begun. Yeah, I guess you kinda scared yourself, you turn and run. You could have a change of heart. Ricky, don't lose that number. You don't wanna call nobody else. Send it off in a letter to yourself. Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you own. You might use it if you feel better when you get home. I have a friend in town, he's heard your name. We could go out driving on Slow Hand Road. We could stay inside and play games I don't know. Or you could have a change of heart. Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you own. Ricky, don't lose that number. You don't wanna call nobody else. Send it off in a letter to yourself. Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you want. You might use it if you feel better when you get home. You tell yourself you're not my kind, but you don't even know your mind. And you could have a change of heart. Ricky, don't lose that number. You don't wanna call nobody else. Send it all in a letter to yourself. Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you own. You might use it if you feel better when you get home. All right, and that was Ricky Don't Lose That Number off of Pretzel Logic, which we are showcasing right now. We are showcasing all of Steely Dan's discography in this, the You Wouldn't Even Know a Diamond live stream. I forgot to mention that earlier when I was playing Reelin' in the Years. That's where this album got its name from, was You Wouldn't Even Know a Diamond If You Held It in Your Hand, the line from Reelin' in the Years. And that's kind of the theme of the original songs on this album, right? Is that, you got it really good and you've never seen that before. So you kind of freak out and keep that person at arm's length because you're so used to being treated poorly within relationships. So that is that. So this next song, going back to, I said I had a lot of stories, and actually before I tell this one, I just want to point out I'm fairly certain that Rick Derringer was the guy who played the guitar solo that you did not hear on Ricky Don't Lose That Number. So they had these studio musicians who were a little bit unknown, but every once in a while they'd get people who were coming up. The members of Toto played quite a bit on Steely Dan's albums, and so there were definitely a lot of people. Michael McDonald was part of the band for a little bit, sang background vocals very clearly on Peg and a couple songs on Asia. And Timothy B. Schmidt from the Eagles, right? So they would get, these unknown studio musicians, like I said, but every once in a while they get somebody that, now is a really, really big name. But at the time they were, just kind of coming up. But anyway, like I said, this album is Pretzel Logic that we are showcasing right now. And the title track to it, I have a couple of different stories. So my dad, this might be his favorite Steely Dan song. At least it's his favorite off of Pretzel Logic. And he really likes the bridge, and so that's that. I'll actually tell the story after I play it because it would give it away otherwise. But this is that particular song, and I'll tell both of those stories after I play it. So this is Pretzel Logic, and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I would love to the Southland in a traveling minstrel show. Yes, I'd love to the Southland in a traveling minstrel show. Yes, I'm dying to be a star and make them land in town just like a record on a phonograph. Those days are gone forever, over a long time ago. Oh yeah. Yeah, I would love to meet Napoleon, but I haven't found the time. Well, I haven't met Napoleon, but I plan to find the time. 'Cause he looks so fine up on that hill. They tell me he's lonely still. Those days are gone forever, over a long time ago. Oh yeah. I stepped up on the platform, the man gave me the news. He said, "You must be joking, son. Where did you get those shoes? Where did you get those shoes?" "Well, I've seen them on the TV, the movie show. They say the times are changing, but I just don't know. These days have gone forever, over a long time ago. Oh yeah." All right, and that was Pretzel Logic. So as promised, as teased, I do have a couple of stories. So like I said, my dad really likes this song, and this is one that I remember him playing growing up quite a bit. In fact, all of these are for the most part. Anyway, he really likes that bridge, especially the line, "Where did you get those shoes?" And I think I played this with the Stuck Inside a Mobile live stream, and told this story. But when I got the tickets to see Steely Dan, my parents wrapped him in a shoebox, and so I opened it and saw the shoebox, and I looked at my parents and I said, "Where did you get those shoes?" And they're just silent. And then I opened it up, and it's the Steely Dan tickets, and they're like, "I can't believe that you just said that." And then those happened to be Steely Dan tickets. But Donald Fagen has said that that song is about time travel, and it makes a lot of sense when you look at the lyrics and all of that stuff. I've actually been reading this book that he wrote called "Eminent Hipsters" that my parents were nice enough to get me for my birthday, and it's cool because he talks about growing up and listening or watching all of these science fiction shows. And then reading all of these science fiction books as well. And so, in terms of time travel, that parallel kind of makes sense. And this is one of the many examples of how Steely Dan and I, are a lot alike in terms of our songwriting process, that like we just absorb everything that we can, and then try to write about it, and throw that in, even if they're like two seemingly unrelated concepts. But that's just a really cool thing that has been apparent in my songwriting, and so I thank them quite a bit for doing that. And that is that. All right, cool. So next one that I'm going to do is a song called "Left Me for Dead," and this was inspired by "Night by Night" by Steely Dan, and so I'm going to do that particular song next. Hang on 1 second here. Gotta get the right thing up. There we go. If you're holding out for a better day, but not living how you had planned, maybe now you know just how I felt when you turned me down. Heard you made it to the capital to get out of your small town world. Once you made a life of your own, didn't want me around. Well, you ain't my problem now, though you are still in my head. I flew south for you, my butterfly, but then you left me for dead. It's so hard for me to love again after what you've done. I keep thinking about how it will end when I say they're the one. And it ain't just you, but you bookended a decade of destruction. A long pattern of leaving when it's good, all of which left me stunned. Well, you ain't my problem now, though you are still in my head. I flew down south for you, my butterfly, then you left me more dead. Well, you ain't my problem now, though you are still in my head. I flew down south for you, my butterfly, then you left me for dead. It's a beggar's life, said the Queen of Spain, but don't tell that to a poor man, 'cause he's gotta kill for every thrill the best he can. Everywhere around me I see jealousy and mayhem, because no men have all their peace of mind to carry them. Well, I don't really care if it's wrong or if it's right, but until my ship comes in, I live night by night. When the Joker tried to tell me I could cut it in this rude town, when he tried to hang that sign on me, I had to take it down. When the Dawn Patrol gotta tell you twice, they're gonna do it with a shotgun. Yes, I'm cashing in this 10-cent life for another one. Well, I ain't got the heart to lose another fight, so until my ship comes in, I live night by night. Well, I don't really care if it's wrong or if it's right, so until my ship comes in, I live night by night. All right, and that was Night by Night and Left Me for Dead, my original song. So fun fact, and I was saving this particular fun fact, even though I could have said it when I was going over Can't Buy a Thrill. The cover of Can't Buy a Thrill was banned in Francoist Spain because it showed prostitutes on the side of the road, essentially, and there were some other kind of weird things about that particular album cover, so that got banned there. And part of the reason why I'm doing this live stream is because Franco's passing was 45 years ago yesterday. And so that was the original timing of it. Now, there is a line in Night by Night, the opening line, that says, "It's a beggar's life," said the Queen of Spain. There was no Queen of Spain when they wrote this song. This was in 1974. And so that was when Franco was still in power. And like I said, there was no king, there was no queen. And so that's what that was. And so, for as historically accurate as Steely Dan tried to be, that one I can definitely call him on, but still a phenomenal song. And like I said, one that I remember listening to quite a bit growing up. Cool. So Next song up on this particular album, showcasing Pretzel Logic. There's a song of mine that I wrote that's called "Gold Can Rust," and this is inspired by "With a Gun" by Steely Dan, and I hope you enjoy both of them. I'm going to play them back to back. Headed off to Costa Rica, had to board a plane that never would have even crossed your mind in Spain. I'm happy for you, so this isn't jealousy. Just not sure why your plans no longer involve me. But gold can rust, gold can rust, and I can't argue against wanderlust. Yeah, I was just a stepping stone when you were feeling all alone, and I guess my love was not enough. I tried to reason with you and bargain with myself. Went down to see you, put my feelings on a shelf. Your friends became mine, and for a while and still am. But gold can rust, gold can rust, and I can't argue against wanderlust. Yeah, I was just a stepping stone when you were feeling all alone, and I guess my love was not enough. Now my trust issues affect chances I don't take. Good feelings overwritten by bad things I can't shake. Lived in a daydream, then suddenly we're glad to be away. Gold can rust, gold can rust, and I can't argue against wanderlust. Yeah, I was just a stepping stone when you were feeling all alone, and I guess my love was not enough. Gold can rust, gold can rust, and I can't argue against wanderlust. Yeah, I was just a stepping stone when you were feeling all alone, and I guess my love was not enough. And I guess my love was not enough. I could be wrong, but I have seen your face before. You were the man that I saw running from his door. You owed him money, but you gave him something more. With a gun, with a gun, you can do what you want just the same. Did you pay the other man with a piece in your hand and leave him crying in the rain? You were the founders of the cleaning on the hill, until he caught you with your finger up the till. He slapped your hand, so you settled up your bill. With a gun, with a gun, you can be what you want just the same. Did you pay the other man with a piece in your hand and leave him crying in the rain? When you're born to play the fool and you've seen the Western movies, woe to the one who does you wrong. You hide in the bushes, murder the man with the Luger in your hand. I understand that you will soon be leaving town. Don't try to call me when they finally run you down. Just give fair warning anytime you come around. With a gun, with a gun, you can be what you want just the same. Did you pay the other man with a piece in your hand and leave him crying in the rain? With a gun, with a gun, You can be what you want just the same. Did you pay the other man with a piece in your hand and leave him crying in the rain? And leave him crying in the rain. All right, and that was Gold Can Rust and With a Gun. That first one was inspired by just somebody kind of finding something better or a better offer and then kind of leaving you in the dust without really any reason. Yeah. So like I said, that was inspired by With a Gun, which I played. And that indeed does close out all the songs off of Pretzel Logic that I wanted to play. So we are going to move on to Katie Lied, which, as the years pass, is a hilarious album title to me. Anyway, this is a song called Black Friday, which is perfect because Thanksgiving and Black Friday are coming up. And this didn't inspire any songs on the record, but this is probably my favorite song off of their 1975 album, Katie Lied, which turned 45 in March, if you were doing that math. This is Black Friday, and I hope you enjoy it. When Black Friday comes, I'll stand down by the door and catch the gray man when they fall from the 14th floor. When Black Friday comes, I'll collect everything I own, and before my friends find out, I'll be out on the road. When Black Friday comes, you know it's got to be. Don't let it fall on me. When Black Friday comes, I'll fly down to Musselwell Brook. Gonna strike all the big red words from my little black book. Gonna do just what I please. Gonna wear no socks and shoes, with nothing to do but feed all the kangaroos. When Black Friday comes, I'll be up on that hill. You know I will. When Black Friday comes, I'm gonna dig myself a hole. Gonna lay down in it till I satisfy my soul. Gonna let the world pass by me. The Archbishop's gonna sanctify me. And if he don't come across, I'm gonna let it roll. When Black Friday comes, I'm gonna stake my claim. I guess I'll change my name. All right, and that was Black Friday off of Katie Lied. Yeah, good. That's a really fabulous album, by the way. Black Friday is always the one that sticks out to me in that regard. So I'm going to play another couple songs that, again, didn't necessarily inspire songs on this record, although this first one that I'm going to play off of The Royal Scam is a song called Haitian Divorce, and this inspired a song of mine called Black Tie Affair, and I hope you enjoy Haitian Divorce. This is that's kind of a funny thing to say, but I hope you enjoy the song Haitian Divorce. And yeah, I'm going to play that right now. Babs and Clean Willie were in love, they said. So in love, the preacher's face turned red. Soon everybody knew the thing was dead. He shouts, she bites, they wrangle through the night. She goes crazy, gotta make a getaway. Papa say, oh, 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 oh. No hesitation, no tears, no hearts breaking, no remorse. Oh, 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 congratulations, this is your Haitian divorce. She takes a taxi to the good hotel, Bon Marché, as far as she can tell. She drinks the zombie from the cocoa shell. She feels alright, she get it on tonight. Mr. Driver, can you let the music play? Take me where the music play. Papa said, oh, 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 oh. No hesitation, no tears, no hearts breaking, no remorse. Congratulations, this is your Haitian divorce. At the grotto in the easy chair sits Charlie with the lotion and the kinky hair. When she smiled, she set it off. The band was out, so they danced the famous merengue. Now we dolly back, now we fade to black. Cheer for reunion in the USA. Day by day, the memories fade away. Some babies growing up peculiar way. It changed, it grew, and everybody knew. Semi Mojo, who's this kinky so-and-so? Papa go, oh, 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 oh. No hesitation, no tears, no hearts breaking, no remorse. Oh, 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 oh. Congratulations, this is your Haitian divorce. This is your Haitian divorce. All right, and that was your Haitian divorce. My Haitian divorce, because that was my version of that. Yeah, couple cultural things about the royal scam when that came out. So it came out in 1976. And I'm not entirely sure of how early in 1976. I think it was March. Yes, actually it was. It was March of 1976. And so a couple things that you need to know about that. And I'll explain this for this next particular song. And that's Everything You Did. There's a line in there that says, turn up the Eagles, the neighbors are listening. And of course, this was the same year as Hotel California was released. And so that's that. And so there's this line, turn up the Eagles, the neighbors are listening. And then in Hotel California, there's the line that was There was stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast, and that was a reference to Steely Dan. So yeah, there's that, and then the other thing that I want to point out is if you listen to the studio version of Haitian Divorce, there's this kind of wah sound on the guitar, and that came before Frampton Comes Alive 1976, which always gets the credit for using the talk box in terms of the vocals. And those are two different effects, but that kind of sound, putting that wah sound in there, I'm guessing that's a Steely Dan thing, in terms of what sound they were going for, and then Frampton just did it with his voice and the voice box and all of that good stuff. But that is that. So that is the royal scam. Now I mentioned earlier how a lot of Steely Dan and Bob Dylan and their cynicism kind of seeps into my songwriting, and to me, I think it's hilarious. And so that's that. I think it's pretty funny, and so when you have these cynical songs, people think you're angry, but it's like, no, I'm actually just being funny and sarcastic, and so that's a lot of what Everything You Did has there. But that is that. So, anywho, I'm gonna play Everything You Did, and that will close out the songs that I play off of the Royal Scam, and then we'll move on. Where did the bastard run? Is he still around? Now you gotta tell me everything you did, baby. I'm gonna get a gun and shoot the lover down. Are you gonna tell me everything you did, baby? Traces are everywhere in our happy home. Now you better tell me everything you did, baby. I jumped out of my easy chair, it was not my own. Now I wanna hear about everything you did, baby. I never knew you. You were a roller skater. You gonna show me later. Turn up the Eagles, the neighbors are listening. You know how people talk. I wonder what they'll say. I think you better tell me everything you did, baby. I never knew you. You were a roller skater. You're gonna tell me later. Now you're gonna tell me everything you did. All right. right, and that was Everything You Did by Steely Dan off of the Royal Scam, their 1976 album. All right, cool. So, we just have a handful more songs to do. So, when I saw Steely Dan live, they were focusing on their album Asia, their 1977 album Asia, and playing that in its entirety. And it was really cool because I was treated to some songs that I didn't necessarily have in my subconscious, but one of them, actually, the last track on the album was called Josie, and after seeing them, I heard that song, and then it was really tough because I had a girl named Josie in my history class, and so it's one of those things where I would like get it stuck in my head every day. Um, but that it's a good song, and that was all right. But that was just kind of an interesting thing that happened there. But yeah, they were really really good live when I saw them. So one of the songs on this particular record is a song called Black Cow, and this is I just really like the hook, and so this was kind of a late addition. But this is Black Cow, and I hope you enjoy it. In the corner of my eye, I saw you in Rudy's. You were very high, you were high. It was a crying disgrace. They saw your face. On the corner by your keys was a book of numbers and your remedies. One of these surely will screen out the sorrow, but where are you tomorrow? I can't cry anymore while you run around. Break away just when it seems so clear that it's over now. Drink your black cow and get out of here. Down to Green Street, there you go, looking so outrageous, they tell you so. And you should know how the pros play the game. You change your name like a gangster on the run. You will stagger onward to your precious one. I'm the one who must make everything right. Target out in daylight. Yeah, I don't care anymore while you run around. Break away just when it seems so clear that it's over now. Drink your black cow and get out of here. All right, and that was Black Cow by Steely Dan off of Asia, which is the current album that we are showcasing. So this next song I'm going to play actually is going to close out, not the full set, but going to close out the You Wouldn't Even Know a Diamond album. And this is a song called King of Never After, and it was inspired by Deacon Blues, so I'm going to play that as well. But thematically, what this song is about is this particular person who I met in Spain and kind of had a thing with for about a year and a half. Um, a lot of the ways that her mind was messed with was because her dad and stepdad both cheated on her mom, which is horrible, and I'm not trying to take anything away from that. Um, but that kind of colored her perceptions of what men do, that they just kind of leave and there's nothing that you can do about it. And so I showed pretty consistently for this year and a half that, like, hey, this, that wasn't going to be me. And, I was going to break the curse and all of that. And so this song is basically uh, about how, she is accusing me of, being the one who's going to end things, and then she ends up being the one who ends things. And so that's kind of the idea behind this. This is called King of Never After, and it was inspired by Deacon Blues, like I said. So I'm going to play that as well. It's nothing like I had ever been through in the past. We had something special, thought we were built to last. Then out of nowhere, with the changing of the leaves, you said, love is a choice, and that I was bound to cheat. You say I'm the king of never after, I'll stop loving you one day. I was the one to reverse the curse, and you threw it all away. My eyes might wander, but if I see something better than you, it's just a mirage. If I'm the king of never after, you're the queen of sabotage. I held you in Spain when everything went bad. You got scared to leave, just like your cheating dad. I showed you a love you needed to quell your fears. I'm not the cheating kind you think one day will appear. You say I'm the king of never after, I'll stop loving you one day. I was the one to reverse the curse, and you threw it all away. My eyes might wander, but if I see something better than you, it's just a mirage. If I'm the king of never after, you're the queen of sabotage. It's nothing like I've never been through in the past. But you saw that we weren't built to last. 'Cause out of nowhere, with the changing of the leaves, you said love was a choice, and you were choosing not to love me. You say I'm the king of never after, I'll stop loving you one day. I was the one to reverse the curse, you threw it all away. My eyes might wander, But if I see something better than you, it's just a mirage. If I'm the king of never after, you're the queen of sabotage. You say I'm the king of never after, I'll stop loving you one day. I was the one to reverse the curse, you threw it all away. My eyes might wander, but if I see something better than you, it's just a mirage. If I'm the king of never after, you're the queen of sabotage. This is the day of the expanding man. That shape is my shame, there's where I used to stand. It seems like only yesterday I gazed through the glass at ramblers, at gamblers, that's all in the past. You call me a fool, say it's a crazy scheme. This one's for real, I already bought the dream. So useless to ask me why, throw a kiss and say goodbye. I'll make it this time, I'm ready to cross that fine line. I'll learn to work the saxophone and I'm laying just what I'm built. Drink scotch whiskey all night long and I'm behind the wheel. They got a name, all the winners in this world. I want a name when I lose. They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Call me digging blues. My back is to the wall, a victim of laughing chance. This is for me the essence of true romance. Sharing the things we know and love with those of my kind. Libations, sensations that stagger the mind. I crawl like a viper through these suburban streets. Make love to these women, languid and bittersweet. I'll rise when the sun goes down, cover every game in town. A world of my own, I'll make it home, sweet home. I'll learn to work the saxophone and I'll play just what I'm in. Drink scotch whiskey all night long and I'll be on the wheel. They got a name for the winners of this world. I want a name when I lose. They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Call me digging blues. This is the night of the expanding man. Take one last drag as I approach the stand. I cried when I wrote this song. Sue me if I play too long. This brother is free. I'll be what I wanna be. Learn to work the saxophone and I'm laying just what I'm built. Drink Scotch whiskey all night long, and I behind the wheel. They got a name for all the winners in this world. I want a name when I lose. They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Call me Deacon Blues. All right, and that was Deacon Blues. We are down to our final 3 songs, believe it or not. I'm sure you do, because it's 9:45 and we've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes. My current record is 2 hours and 34 minutes. I think I'm going to break that slightly today, but we shall see. So this next one is off of Steely Dan's last album before they broke up for 13 years. And they wouldn't record another studio album for another 20, which I'll highlight as well. And yeah, that is that. But this was their album Gaucho, and it, as I said in the open, was released 40 years ago today. So happy birthday, anniversary, whatever, to Gaucho. This is Babylon Sisters, and I hope you enjoy it. Dry west on Sunset to the sea. Turn that jungle music down till we're just out of town. This ain't no one-night stand, it's a real occasion. Close your eyes and you'll be there. It's everything they say, the end of a perfect day. Distant lights from across the bay. Babylon Sisters, shake it. Babylon Sisters, shake it. So fine and so young, tell me I'm the only one. Babylon Sisters, here come the Santa and the winds again. We'll jog with chauffeur on the sand. Drink Kirschwasser from Michelle. San Francisco show and tell. Well, I should know by now that's just a spasm, like a Sunday in TJ. That it's cheap, but it's not free. That I'm not what I used to be, and love it not a game for 3. Babylon Sisters, shake it. Babylon Sisters, shake it. So mine and so young, tell me I'm the only one. Babylon Sisters, shake it. My friends say no, don't go more than cotton candy. Son, you're playing with fire. The kid will live and learn as he watches bridges burn from the morn of no return. Babylon Sisters, shake it. Babylon Sisters, shake it. So so fine and so young. Tell me I'm the only one. Babylon sisters, shake it. Alright, and that was Babylon Sisters by Steely Dan off of their album Gaucho, which was released 40 years ago today. Alright, so I want to give a dedication with this next song. I hadn't listened to Two Against Nature in years, and as I was prepping this, I was like, okay, I want to include their reunion albums, essentially, so Two Against Nature and Everything Must Go. And I was like, okay, what song do I play off of each of them? And the first track on this was a song called Gaslighting Abby. And one of my coworkers, her name is Abby, and spells it in the same way that they do on this album. And so I found that out on a Sunday and showed it to her on a Monday. And she said, "Oh man, you gotta make sure you tag me in this." So I didn't, but I will. I'll definitely send her the video there, and that made both of us laugh. But this is Gaslighting Abby off of Two Against Nature, and I hope you enjoy it. One blush summer, you come to me ripe and ready, and bad through and through, with that deep mystical soul synergy pumping steady between me and you. Loving all the beautiful work we've done, tearing me on, and it's barely July. If we keep mopping till Labor Day, my little Miss Abby, my. What will it be? Some soothing double tea that might be just a thing. Let's say we spark it with a illuminate, or else maybe tonight a relaxing game of solitaire. Flame is the game we call Gaslighting Abby. It's a luscious invention for three, one summer by the sea. With a long wing and lens coming down fast, let's get busy, there's too much to do. That Black Mini looks like the one she's been missing feels good on you. There are a few items we need in town, Alleluia. There's no time to waste, such as fresh cable and 15 one-by-one box. Couple dozen, it's a big old place. Let's keep it light, we'll do Friday night with blood and everything, some punky laughter from the kitchen, and then tonight a nice relaxing game of solitaire. Flame is the game we call Gaslighting Abby. It's a luscious invention for three, one summer by the sea. You can choose the music, I'll set up a gear. Later on we'll chill and watch the fireworks from here. How can you knock this mighty spotlight? Check out the work itself, a mix of elegance and function. That's right, a tweak or two, and then she's out of here. Flame is the game we call Gaslighting Abby. It's a luscious invention for three, one summer by the sea. Claim is the game we call gaslighting Abby. It's a luscious invention, more three on summer by the sea. All right, and that was Gaslighting Abby. All right, last one that I'm going to play. This is from Everything Must Go, Steely Dan's last album. And appreciate you, Sports Cards Direct, for tuning in. Thank you so much. All right, so last one that I'm going to play is Godwhacker off of Everything Must Go. Hope you enjoy it. In the beginning we could hang with a dude, but it's been too much of nothing of that stank attitude. Now they cuss your name and there's a bounty on your face. It's your own fault, daddy. Godwhacker's on the case. We track your almighty ass through 7 heaven worlds. Me, Slinky, Redfoot, our crusty, trusty angel girls. And when the stars bleed out and be fever of the chase, you better get gone, Poppy. Godwhacker's on the case. Be very, very quiet, like everything you see. Little things might matter later, and the start of the end of history. Climb up the glacier, across the bridges of the light. We'll sniff you out, big tiger, in the forest of the night. 'Cause there's no escape from the Rajas of a race. You better run, 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 run. Godwhacker's on the case. Be very, very quiet, like everything you see. Little things might matter later, at the start of the end of history. Yes, we are Godwhackers who rip and chop and slice for crimes beyond imagining and pay the price. You'd better step back, son, give the man some whacking space. You know this might get messy. Godwhackers on the case. Godwhackers on the case. All right, and that was Godwhacker. Forgot to mention, too, about Gaslighting Abby. That song reminds me a lot of Peg from Asia, which I didn't play, but that I wish I could. It's a really, really good song. But yeah, they were still putting out really good albums. Two Against Nature won a Grammy in 2001 and beat out the Marshall Mathers EP, I want to say. So it was like people were all up in arms, but it was a phenomenal album. Everything Must Go a little bit less so, but still, you know, really good. Good last album. So that was Steely Dan. I took you through 48 years worth of music, which is pretty wild. And I hope you enjoyed all of those. And unfortunately, Walter Becker is no longer with us. Donald Fagen is still, and I look forward to reading the rest of his book and all of that. But a playlist will come shortly. I appreciate my dad for tipping me off to Steely Dan, my mom, and potentially my dad for tuning in tonight as well. This was super fun and, you know, a good way to maybe not showcase my guitar skills, but definitely made me step up my songwriting game a little bit more, if I'm going to claim that this album was inspired by Steely Dan songs. So, as I said, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, as you do every week. And I am here every week. I'm doing another one next Thursday. I know what I'm doing, but I can't quite remember what it's called, so just stay tuned for that. I am Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much.